Hello, I'm Okie Thornton, President of the Kiwanis Club of Corinth, Mississippi. This video has been produced to honor and perpetuate Leon Frazier's memory. In addition to being an outstanding Christian businessman and family man, Leon was an outstanding Kiwanian. He served many years as an active member and was president in 1995 and 96. He was selected by the club as the Outstanding Kiwanian of the Year in 1996. We miss the humor, wit, and wisdom, not to mention the talent of Leon. To keep Leon's memory alive, the Kiwanis Club of Corinth has established the Leon Frazier Memorial Fellowship Fund, which will be used to help students that are motivated to help themselves. Leon was always helping others. Therefore, we felt this would be the most appropriate way to honor him. We want to thank those that have worked hard to make this video possible, especially Lance and Randy Ferrell, who have donated their time and talents in its production. Thank you.
Homer Leon Frazier was born on May 6, 1946 in Memphis, Tennessee, the fourth son of Reverend and Mrs. W.B. Frazier. Leon shared a birthday with his older brother Buddy, who became his early childhood guardian angel. He knew just how much to cry to get Buddy to come running to rock his cradle. His other two brothers, Danny and Wallace, also shared the same birthday. Needless to say, it was anything but boring in the Frazier home. Leon would share often his memories of how their home was conducted. He said Mother would never let us go out to play until first we had church, giving thanks to God, learning Bible verses, and singing songs. According to his friends and Brother Frazier, Leon was always building or restoring things. He could take something no one wanted, do a little polishing and fixing, then later everybody wanted it. He could also walk on his hands almost as well as his feet. Later, there was added two sweet little girls to the quartet of boys already assembled: Buddy, Danny, Wallace, Leon, Alice, and Nell, with Leon on the accordion or piano, Buddy and Wallace on guitar, the girls playing tambourines while Danny played the shoebox. Yeah, you heard right. Danny played the shoebox, the Frazier's first set of drums. This was the original Frazier family band. Another fond memory, which didn't start very well, became a major part of Leon's life. This story really sounds a lot better coming from him. Listen as Leon tells of this early experience.
I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. My dad played the guitar. My mother led the singing. Mother knew about music. Daddy didn't. Daddy was in Alabama. His daddy run a joint at night. He played the banjo, and the Lord saved him. He knew 3 keys, 1 key and 3 chords, and he didn't know when to change in. Mother'd lead the singing and Daddy'd play the guitar. Mother knew when the song changed and Daddy didn't. He was in 1 key and Mother was in another. But when they'd give an altar service, the altars were filled. Why? Because the Lord was there. When the children was born in the home, Daddy was determined that somebody was going to help him. And the first children they had, the first 4 was boys. I was the youngest of the 4, and he sent us all to music. My oldest brother was old enough that when they called him Sissy, he got Daddy to let him quit. The next brother, in a few days, he talked Daddy into letting him quit. And it left Wallace and myself, which were 2 years apart, to take piano lessons. And we had 1 teacher in Corinth that taught music, and she was a dear elderly lady. Wallace would go take on Saturday afternoon. They'd take both of us and leave us. My brother would go inside and take his lesson first, and I'd lay on the swing in the porch and go to sleep. And have you ever woke a 5-year-old boy up that slept about 30 minutes on a porch swing? He don't wake up in too good of a mood. I didn't want to take music because they were calling me Sissy. But Daddy was Daddy, and it meant more than Daddy at home. Daddy was the boss, and I took music. This particular Saturday afternoon, the lady showed me how to play the song. I closed a little piece of music, laid it on top of the piano, and I played it by ear. She got to crying. She pinned a note on my shirt, told Mother and them not to ever send me back. And I thought I had it made. My mother made me practice 1 hour every day without a teacher. I can read the newspaper, but I don't read music. I give my talent, I praise the Lord for it. I give it all to Him. Without Him, we're nothing. Through Him, all things are possible.
Leon was a proud graduate of Bell School, and he often said that everyone who was anyone had some connection to Bell School. Being a Bell School graduate was an honor he proudly shared with Mr. Jerry Latch, the fine mayor of Corinth, Mississippi.
My friend, Leon Frazier. Leon and I go back to grade school. As we've all heard him talk of many a times, Bell School. He and I both were real proud of being a graduate of Bell School. I guess some of the most memorable times that we talked about was during those years. We had many of days after school. We'd go to his house over where his dad still lives, and we'd play under those trees, and we would build most toys we played with. He was a pretty good craftsman, had ideas all the time. We built these homemade go-karts. We'd use big nails and drive through 2x4s, and we'd make all different looks of go-karts. And of course, we didn't have any motors on them then. We'd just have to have our older brothers that was lucky enough to push us around, but we made some racetracks over there and spent many hours, many days on that dirt track back there pushing that. And then times after that, we built homemade bicycles and racer-type bicycles, and just had many hours of fun doing that. And the days in Bell School that I remember is Leon would have prayer on certain days, and Leon always played the piano. And of course, as we all know, he was very talented on the piano, and he'd play the gospel songs during the prayer hour or whatever we might have, special program. And then if we were lucky enough, the teachers might leave or something, we might get Leon to kind of juiced up a little bit and play a little bit of rock and roll for just 2 or 3 hits there, and then we'd all kind of get out of there right quick, you know. But that's some of the fun times we had as kids at Bell School.
Leon finished his formal education with his graduation from Kossuth High School, class of 1964. Leon was an honor student, served as sophomore class secretary, junior class vice president, and senior class vice president, chosen as class favorite, most talented, and most handsome. In July of 1960, at the tender age of 14, something happened to Leon that would change his life forever. While playing piano for his father, who was in revival at Tobes Chapel, a cute little 13-year-old blonde named Gail Sellers caught Leon's eye. After about 2 weeks, he got up the nerve to ask for her phone number. Since they were not allowed to date at that age, it was no trouble for either of them to attend that 5-week revival. They were engaged on April the 20th, 1964, and married on June the 26th, 1964. From this young beginning came a lifetime of happiness. From their first small apartment above the garage to their fine stately home on Glover Drive, Leon and Gail worked together, cried together, shared together, and succeeded together. Their hard work and commitment to each other really paid off. Gail remarked not long ago, "Even after all these years, I still find his jokes funny. Leon could still make me laugh." For 33 wonderful years, Leon and Gail walked side by side, holding hands and loving each other. Leon and Gail were more than husband and wife. They were the best of friends. Leon's dad worked at Gateway Corporation, a handle mill in Corinth. So as a young teenager, Leon worked there too. September of 1964, he began work at Wurlitzer, where he worked until 1982. He really enjoyed his work here as he was able to use his God-given talent to support his family. He made many lifelong friends while at Wurlitzer. Enjoy now a segment of a home video clip of Leon jamming with his friends, David Tyson, Gene Sanders, and Jerry Pratt, as they pantomime an old hit by the Oak Ridge Boys. Family was always important to Leon. Being raised in a pastor's home, he learned the meaning of teamwork early in his life. He often remarked about those days when, being a preacher's kid, he couldn't always do as the other boys did because he was the preacher's kid. But he would add, "I wouldn't take nothing from my childhood." With this in mind, Leon and Gail wanted the best for their own children. They would teach them the values of Christian living by example, as well as teach them singing and music. They would be brought up in a church atmosphere, complete with worship and spiritual guidance. Besides just teaching about spiritual matters, Leon and Gail wanted to teach their children how to survive and be successful. On May the 2nd, 1966, the first child came into their home. This baby, a daughter they named DuJuana, was the apple of her daddy's eye. He guarded and protected her as best he could. DuJuana remembers that as a child, when it was raining, her daddy would carry her, say she might get a cold if her feet got wet. He and Gail began to instill in her, at an early age, a love for God and a love for music. These things have proven to be very important to her, even to this day. After her graduation from high school, she went to work with her dad, and they worked together every day all these years. DuJuana married Brock Thompson in November of 1987. This was no doubt a day of mixed emotions as Leon gave his daughter in marriage, but Brock proved to be a great asset as a son-in-law and also as a friend. DuJuana also brought Leon much joy in November of 1990 when she blessed him with his first grandchild, Luanna Gail Thompson. Then in May of 1993, another granddaughter came along, Brittany Elizabeth Thompson. DuJuana said she may have made many mistakes and disappointments in her life, but one thing she did perfect in Leon's eyes was giving him these two granddaughters. One family tradition they held was every Wednesday night after church, Papa Leon and Mama Gail would take the girls to McDonald's for treats. They had him wrapped around their little finger. It would not have been unusual to find Leon in the yard riding the ponies. Wouldn't be anything unusual to find him in the floor playing with dolls, as these girls were the joy of his life. They will no doubt cherish their memories forever. As you can see by the photographs, not only did Leon cause smiles on these little girls' faces, they caused smiles on his as well. He once remarked, "If I'd known grandchildren were going to be so much fun, we'd have had them first." After DuJuana's birth on March 29, 1976, the Lord blessed the home with a miracle in the form of another baby girl. They named her Derisa. She stole everyone's heart. Her daddy called her his little Reese. Derisa attended Corinth High School and graduated in 1994. Leon was proud to be involved in such school activities as the Corinth High School Follies, where he once again gave his best for the young people and the community. Derisa married D. Cook in July 1994. Once again, Leon gave the hand of his youngest daughter to a worthy young man. He now had two sons as well as his daughters. Leon was so proud that Derisa finished Northeast Community College and was attending University of North Alabama pursuing a degree in accounting. She accomplished this feat in December of 1997, knowing that she had made her daddy proud. DuJuana wrote a poem for Derisa in the absence of her daddy at the graduation. The title of the poem, "I'll Be There With You." I just can't believe this day is here. You've worked so hard for so many years. You've made me so proud of my sweet little girl, and now you'll make your place in this world. A degree in accounting you finally earned. Your life will soon take another big turn. As you chart out your life and follow God's plan, just always remember to hold to His hand. Please don't be sad and don't be blue, and don't think that I'm not here with you. As you take your proud walk on this graduation day, I promise I'm with you in a very special way. See, I'll be there with you, each step that you make, each breath that you breathe, each stride that you take. For a little of me you have in you, and I'll always be there with you in all you do. I love you, little Reese, that special name I gave. To me, you always were my special little babe. But now time has turned, and you face life anew. Don't ever forget, I'll be there with you. Love you, Daddy. Derisa and Dee's baby was born on May 16, 1998. His name is Devyn Leon Cook. This is Leon's first grandson. Dee says he already has demonstrated he has a good set of lungs for singing, perhaps. Would you look at those fingers? Do you think he might one day play the piano? We certainly hope he follows in his papa's footsteps. In 1969, Leon joined with a group of men to share a love for God and a love for gospel music. They blended their voices together in beautiful harmony, with Leon accompanying them on the piano. The Heisman Quartet began singing in local churches for revivals and singings. They were guests several times on the Gospel Singing Jubilee, a nationally known Sunday morning television program. Some of you might remember this.
It's time for the Heisman Quartet singing I Can't Hardly Wait.
I can't hardly wait for that great day when my Lord shall return. I can't hardly wait to see his face and hear him say, well done. Now it seems like it's been oh so long since he went away, but he's coming again and I'm ready to go. I just can't hardly wait. And we'll go strolling through heaven, singing our new song, meeting friends and loved ones that's been gone so long. It'll be a happy reunion just inside the gate. Strolling through heaven, I can't hardly wait. We'll be right back on most of these same stations.
Yes, the Heisman were officially a Southern gospel quartet, traveling all over the southern United States to sing and play as they spread the good news in song. This became a prominent part of Leon's life. More often than not, on Thursdays or Friday evenings, he would come home from work and Gail would have his clothes ready, some sandwiches prepared, and he would climb aboard the bus to head out for a weekend of ministry through song, only to return on Monday morning just in time to go back to work. Joining Leon was Dexter Benjamin on tenor, Norman Benjamin sang the lead, Dean Lawrence filled the baritone spot, while Bill Gant sang bass. They soon realized they wanted something different, something folks would take note of, something that would really get folks' attention. Listen as Leon tells of this change.
Leon started playing the piano in the original beginning of the Heisman Quartet, but later he switched to an organ, and there was a good reason. Leon, why did you do that?
Well, I tore too many pianos up. It seemed like, I guess we searched for something to improve the group, and I'd played on the piano about all my life, and when I went to work there at the Wellington Company, well, I kind of learned to like and enjoy the organ, and just suggested to the group that we might be interested in trying it and see if it'd be something new in the gospel field. And we met one night and went over a few songs with the organ, and it just kind of worked like putting a puzzle together, and we decided we'd try one, and we really enjoyed the organ. In fact, we'd be lost without our organ.
Old Blue, the Blue Custom Wurlitzer organ, quickly became the Heisman's trademark. Folks would drive for miles and get to a concert early enough to get a front row seat so they could watch Leon's feet. Sometimes it seemed they just flew across the pedals. He was truly a gifted musician, as well as a soft-spoken, sometimes even shy person. His love for ministry and God is very evident in his music. Enjoy this video footage as Leon appeared on the morning show with longtime friend Buddy Bain, who ironically passed away the same Memorial Day weekend of 1997. Leon was a great songwriter. He wrote such songs as I Can't Hardly Wait, I'll Need a New Body, Gabriel Blow Your Horn, and When I Realize I've Made It Home. But the most popular he wrote was The Next Time You See Me, which was recorded by several gospel groups, as well as was in the top 20 singing news chart.
Listen to Leon as he tells why The Next Time You See Me came to be a song.
Well, Dan, I never really had a desire, I guess you'd say, or ever give it any thought to writing a song. Ever since I was a small child, I always thought I would like, or had the feeling that I would like to play the piano or make some sort of music with a gospel group. Attended many gospel concerts and just felt like I would enjoy it, but never one time did I ever really, it was never crossed my mind to write a song or even put any words to one at all. I don't know, I guess it was just more of an inside feeling. I remember very well the day that the song part of it came to me. Maybe it was on a day when things maybe didn't go just real good for you, and you just kind of get a feeling that what you've been living for, life is short, you're just ready to go on, you know, and really get to the end of what you've been living for. And I know the day that I put down the first words to it, just be walking by people and just look at them, and just the inside thought, and next time you see me, I may not be walking right down this aisle or in this location. Next time you see me, I may be already in glory land, you know, and I don't really know how to explain it. I don't guess it's just an inside feeling that I just give the Lord all the credit for.
Another question for you. The train that you play at almost every concert seems to, actually draw more response each time you do it. Now, what about the train? Is it a Heisman original? And how did you come up with it?
Well, I've heard people, organists, demonstrate organs before, and seen them make one do the train sound, I guess you'd call it, and we thought it would be good to add this to our program and kind of get the children involved. They, a lot of times, are left out in our concerts, and so we felt like this would be a part that they enjoy. And
Leon out at the World's Company for a long, long time before we ever got together for him to play with us and sing together. I never will forget the time that I went and asked Leon about playing for the quartet. I asked him one morning, I said, Leon, I said, we got our quartet back together. We need somebody to play the piano for us. He said, Well, I don't know whether I know anybody or not. I said, no, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about you. He said, oh my goodness. He said, I don't know whether I can do that or not. Well, I've been listening to Leon play the organ and piano there with the World's Company for years. I knew that Leon had an exceptional talent. He finally consented that he'd try out with us a little bit, you know, in his words. Back in those days, Leon was bad shy. You couldn't get him to open his mouth. You just almost had to pry his mouth open to hear him say anything. But he did, and it was some more experience. I'll never forget one of the first trips out that we went over to Ripley, the North Ripley Baptist Church. And Leon, when he got through playing the piano that night, all the keys on the piano had blood on them. He tore his fingers all to pieces. And his hand was so sore the next week at work he couldn't hardly do his job at the plant. That's one of the outstanding things.
Has been recorded for a difference to that great land. We might as well in song and paper by those precious nails written in his hand. I'm not gonna need one thing I have on this road journey down here below. For someday soon I know I'm going, for my Jesus, he told me so. And I'm going
After the Heisman retired, Leon decided to form his own family group. For a short while, they traveled as DuJuana Frazier and the Family Band, soon shortening the name to the Frazier family. This family shared such wonderful times on the road, sharing their music. The following clip was recorded with a home video camera at the Community Free Will Baptist Church in Corinth. Enjoy this time with the Frazier family.
Are you looking forward to seeing the Lord tonight? Amen. If the thoughts of Him coming tonight kind of makes you uncomfortable, that's what we're doing here. That's what the preacher's here for. That's what this church's here for. Amen. We had a lot of things that we could have done tonight. I had a whole lot that I could have done besides come here tonight. This is what the Lord had for me to do. We're not here just to show you nothing. We don't have nothing to show you. We're here to, if you're not ready to go, that's what we're here for. Amen. If you are ready to go, we're trying to get you excited about it. Amen. So you'll get somebody else ready to go. They sing songs like that. It touches me and it blesses my heart. Nothing I know any better than the Lord. And I'm looking forward to going to heaven. I want to sing this song tonight when I realize I've made it there. What Keith was singing about a while ago. You know, a lot of times you get things in this life and you say, I just can't believe that. You know, and you might just really hold it close to you and say, I can't believe that I've got that. Well, that same feeling when you get to heaven and sit down in the Lord's lap, you know, I'm going to look up in His face and say, I just can't believe I'm here right now. This is what I've lived so long for, what I've longed for, and now I'm experiencing it. This is what this song says. When I realize I've made it home. I'm excited down here, but I'm going to be excited for sure when I realize that I've made it. It's going to be better than the president getting elected. I'm going to be more proud of that than they're going to be. One of them's going to be. You listen as we sing.
Forever I'm gonna sing glad
the fall of 1982, Leon went to work with Ray Shelton in Collierville, Tennessee. Leon had bought the old Heisman bus when they had quit traveling, and Ray had leased it out for him. Leon went over to help Ray, and together they made Senators Coaches Incorporated into the top bus leasing company in the nation. Many folks thought at that time he ought to get a real job and quit playing with buses. But this venture proved to be very successful. For the 4th year, Senators Coaches was voted Bus Company of the Year in 1997. John Aiken, lease agent, dedicated this award to Leon in his acceptance speech. At that same award ceremony, Leon was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Humanitarian Award. In 1989, Leon became involved in a different line of business. He, along with Pete Woolley and Harold Jones, purchased an old grocery store building and completely renovated it into one of Corinth's most beautiful funeral homes, Memorial Funeral Home. Leon personally assisted with hundreds of funerals, helping many families during their time of grief. On the day of his accident, he had just concluded a morning service. His music can still be heard at almost every service. Listen as John and Harold comment.
Hello, I'm John Aiken from Senators Coaches. We lease buses to entertainers. About 16 years ago, I started working with Leon Frazier. The first 6 years, I drove entertainer coaches for Leon, and as the business grew, he brought me into the office to help with the leasing. I learned a lot from Leon over the years. He had a unique approach to business. His business philosophy wasn't that you did what's right for the business. His philosophy was, you do what's right, and that'll be right for the business. He also had an ability to put himself in the other guy's shoes or situation and look at it from that point of view. Leon was everybody's best friend. I know that's how I felt about him, and just about anybody that knew him felt the same way. He had an ability to make you feel important, and he would attend to people in such a way that you really cared about what Leon thought about you. He was so approachable. Everybody I knew went to Leon for advice about anything. What kind of grass seed to use, what color to paint your car, when to change your oil. People lined up outside of his office to get advice. He took problems on as if they were his own. He was so humble and so human. He was just good to be around and fun to be around. You just wanted to be with him and spend time with him. Leon always said that a man's reputation is the most important thing he has, and one of the few things that he truly owns. Leon, you've left your family a reputation that any of us would be proud of, and we will never forget you. Thank you.
I'm sitting here this morning and I'm thinking about and going back over the years of my friendship and our association with Leon, and what a treasure it is this morning to just remember him in this special way. I could tell a lot of things, could say a lot of things. There's a lot of funny things, there's a lot of serious things, and there's a lot of sad things that I go back with Leon over the years. One of the things that most stands out in my mind about Leon as I think about it is his devotion to this business, that the life of a person or an individual was probably the most important thing that Leon cherished and treasured, especially as I even think about his own family. He cared for them and he took care of them. And there was not anything that was more important to Leon than his family. Probably the second or third thing that I can think of concerning Leon is the funeral home and the Kiwanis Club, and how each of these, even along with his personal family, that how he could make this an interwoven thing to where you couldn't separate the three. And we have many fond memories. In fact, I can look at various places in this building this morning, and every time I look at something or every time I see something, I see Leon. I know we would gather this, where we are this morning was our favorite room. He and Pete and I would often sit here at night when everything was over with and discuss what we had we done the best we could do for this family we just served. And the morning or the afternoon of his death, we had just finished a funeral service. And this room, before the three of us left this building on that Saturday morning, this is the room that somehow the three of us would always wind up in before we left this building. And we talked about a few things that morning, and so we got ready to leave, and he said, well, I've got to go home and do some yard work. And so he left. But every time that we had a service, we could stand in the lobby, and the back door that goes down the hall here, you always listened for that door to open, because when you did, you know it was Leon. He always came through the back. And to this day, it's been almost a year since that's happened. And to this day, every time we have a service, we're standing in the lobby, and every time you still wait to hear that hall door open, because you knew it was going to be Leon coming through that door. Nobody else at that time would have come through that door. There's many things. There's very comical things that has happened over the years, but there's one thing that Leon never did do. He never put you in a situation where that you could not serve or do what you had to do with the very best of your ability. That was one of his trademarks, is he didn't do it halfway. He didn't throw anything together. If he had anything to do with it, it was going to be the very best he could do. So this morning, as my little part, or as I think about all of the things that Leon has done, probably the most important thing that I could think about was quality. He had a quantity of things, but few people, I think, probably had the quality of doing things right that Leon did. And so, over time, as we reflect back upon him, and as the things that's being done now in his memory, and the help that we are giving other people simply because of our friendship and our association with Leon, I don't think that it will ever end. There's young people today who is now being recipients of a scholarship in Leon's memory that through years to come will have benefited from life and from helping other people simply because that we had Leon Frazier in this community and as a part of our business community and our club for many years.
In 1995, Leon went on a new adventure. Leon, along with Jay Shannon and longtime friend Dean Lawrence, opened Dogwood Plantation Assisted Living Home in Saltillo, Mississippi, just outside of Tupelo. At the time of his accident, plans were being made to begin the building in Corinth. Much to the joy of his memory, Leon's family is happily carrying out his dream. Dogwood Plantation's Assisted Living of Corinth is fully underway and scheduled to open in August of 1998 under the direction of Leon's family.
And it was Dogwood Plantation located in Saltillo, Mississippi. Dogwood Plantation is a dream come true for me, and Leon Frazier had an integral part in making that happen. I came up with the idea of a retirement home such as Dogwood, wrote the proposal, had everything in place other than the financing to make it happen. Made a list of 10 men there in Corinth that I thought might be interested in an investment such as Dogwood. Leon was the 10th man on that list, but the first one that I was led to go talk to. I asked Leon to listen to my proposal. He gave me a couple hours of his time, seemed very interested in it, asked questions, and told me he'd think about it and holler back at me. After months and months of waiting for his phone call, he did call and said that was something that he'd be interested in pursuing. We got one other individual involved, Mr. Dean Lawrence from Boonville, one of the Heisman actually that Leon was a part of. And we started construction here in Saltillo and opened our first home in March of 1995. Approximately a year later, we opened our second home here in Saltillo. Opened it in October of '96 and had started construction on our special care unit here in Saltillo, which unfortunately Leon never was able to see completed. The whole time all of this was taking place, Leon had told me time and time again that we should have done it in Corinth. He wanted it in Corinth, and we were talking about pursuing some property in Corinth and trying to make Dogwood a part of Corinth as well. Unfortunately, Leon's tragic accident occurred. Everything was put on hold, but I'm so proud to say that his family wants to pursue that dream of his and make Dogwood Plantation in Corinth a reality. Leon Frazier was the most remarkable man I have ever met. As a family man, as a businessman, as a Christian, I've learned so much from him. My life today would not be what it is if it weren't for Leon Frazier. Dogwood Plantation and what we do for the elderly would not be what it is today if it weren't for Leon Frazier and him believing in me. So I have many thanks to Leon, many good memories of Leon, many thanks to his family, and I'm just so proud to be a part of what Dogwood Plantation is.
A very important part of Leon's life was his membership in the Kiwanis Club of Corinth. He joined the club while he worked at Wurlitzer at the insistence of his very close friend Bill Corinth. Leon enjoyed the weekly Tuesday lunch meetings. He served the club in many capacities, such as the board of directors, president of the club in '96. He was also 1996 Kiwanis of the Year, and his family will receive for him the Lifetime Achievement Award in 1998. He played and sang often for our meetings.
When we were around the house, when Mother and Daddy would leave the house, one of the neighbors kind of told us that it was kind of sounding like we was having church over there as long as Mother and Daddy was there, but when they left it. So I'm going to kind of go back and run through maybe just a tad or two that if you was next door that you might hear or recognize, I guess. I kind of like this one because it was a city that was pretty close to us, you know, and we always look forward to going to the zoo, so. Daddy would drive up. My favorite one was this one. This is the one that always got me in trouble.
Leon wrote and sang about the place he desired to go. Heaven seemed to be on his mind in every song and testimony. We miss him here, but he's not alone. His mother went ahead just a few months before. Danny and Faye came a few months after, and they all wait for our arrival. I hope you've made your preparation to go there. Join now with Leon as he tells us once again about that beautiful city.
But many times at church I'd be playing a piano. when the invitation was given. Now, the fact that my daddy was a pastor of the church and was a preacher didn't make me saved. Right? I was born in this world a sinner just like everybody else. Many times when the invitation was given, my heart would thump out of my chest, and I'd want to go to the altar. But I had to make music so everybody else could get saved. I thought, don't never forget tonight. I felt that thump one more time. I said, piano, play yourself or do whatever you want to. And I made my way to an old-fashioned altar. And I cried out to God, and He forgive me of my sins. And ever since that night, my name has been recorded for an entrance to that great land. See, my trip, it's already paid for by those nail prints in His hand. I'm not gonna need one.